Let me ask you guys a question. Have you ever felt like you wanted more, but you don't know how to express it? Or you love someone, but they're not treating you as right? Or you feel like you could say more, but you're technically afraid how you're gonna sound? Or you wanna express yourself more and you don't know how to go about doing it? Well, in this video, I'm gonna talk about boundaries. How you can control it, what are the steps, and deeper in how to do more boundaries. Boundaries are very important for your own mental health, physical health, and all the health. But honestly, it's extremely important for yourself to understand what your boundaries are and how to communicate that. Mind you, your boundaries may be differently from everyone else's, so this video will help you seek out what boundaries are good for you. And at the end of the day, if you're not understanding what you want and what you need, that's the most important, and we're gonna talk more, so keep on watching. Hey, what's up guys? I am your coach Yves at yvesfred.com, founder and CEO of Soliciting-Love Foundation at soliciting-love.org. In this video, we're going to talk about boundaries and how to control it, express it, and all of that. Boundaries, I feel like we all need boundaries in life. We all need an understanding, and we all have different rules for ourselves. I have boundaries on my space. I'm not trying to sound pretentious, I'm not trying to sound cocky, I'm not trying to sound any other way or whatever, but to certain people, I'm a vibe. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I am. But as an introvert, I don't like a lot of people to have access of me. That's why I have two phones. One phone is just literally close family members, and the close family members that I communicate on a consistent basis. My parents, my siblings, and my partner, as well as my best friends. That's it. That's one phone. And the other phone, everybody else has it. And some days I need to put it on Do Not Disturb, because that's my own boundaries. And ask my best friend, I let them know, do not give my phone to anyone. I let my family members, do not give anyone this number. If anyone that you're close to or whatever, or you think I'm close to, needs my number, give them the other number, because you have both. And I've always been like that, because that's a boundary for myself. That's a space, that's something just for me. A lot of, like, I'm the type of person who changes the number. When I used to have one phone, I used to change my number almost every year or every couple of months. If you don't believe me, ask everyone that closely know me throughout my years. I'm always changing my number. I have some friends and some cousins tell me, yo, I have 5 numbers of you. Which one is you? You know what I mean? And to the person who had my number previously, I am so sorry, because I think one guy cursed me out because he was getting so much texts, so much phone calls on my birthday, people congratulating me, people saying happy birthday, people doing all that stuff. And sometimes my business is tagged into my phone, so he was getting calls out of nowhere and he was getting pissed off. I apologize, but there's nothing I could do. So with that being said, it's just understand your boundaries, understand who you are, understand what you're about, and know that your boundaries may be different or difficult for certain people, and those boundaries are good for you. So learn who you are. I believe that's the first step. The first step in understanding your boundaries is know who you are first. Before you set boundaries, before you understand, know who you are. Knowing who you are involves of what triggers you. You may need a therapist for this, you may need a coach for this, or you really need to meditate and think deeply on, hey, and start recording your life. And I don't mean recording like get a camera or with that. I don't mean, you know what I mean? When I mean recording your life, when you get upset, write it down. Why did you get upset? What is the reason behind it? Like the bigger reason. Not you got upset because someone annoyed you. Why they annoyed you? Why you think they annoyed you? Why that thing annoyed you? Figure out who you are. Understand, because sometimes we just ourselves without even knowing and without even understanding why we're angry. Because at the end of the day, when we realize why we're angry, we're like, oh, it's not a big deal. So it's just understanding who you are. That is the major first part. Before I say anything, before we even start any lessons, I'm not here to teach. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I'm just a coach who experienced a lot of things in my life, and I'm just here to express that. And honestly, when you're founding your boundaries, when you're trying to understand your boundaries, cut off everyone. And I don't mean cut off like don't talk to them. I meant like limit on the communication, limit on social media, limit on this. Understanding, hey, figure out your consistent, when you're finding your boundaries, figure out what you consistently do every day and understand where it stems from. Like, you know what I mean? When you get upset or when you're feeling emotional, write down when you're happy, when you're mad, when you're angry. Record your life. Whatever. Like, get a journal. The most important thing is get a journal. So you can understand who you are. You can understand why you got upset. You can understand, hey, you're stressed, and understand why you're stressed. And I'm speaking on stress because we're going to talk about that on my next video. And sometimes you're stressed and you don't even know. You know what I mean? Sometimes stress create fear, create anger, create so much animosity inside of you that you think it's something else when it's just really stress. Stress is really, I think, is the leading cause of any illness that everyone has. Stress can cause you so much. That's why they say people who live a stress-free life live longer, because it's true. Stress could cause back pain. Stress could cause not sleeping, and not sleeping could cause a lot of mental health issues. Stress, I feel like, is the biggest leading cause of a lot of things, especially emotionally. Physically, I don't know. I feel like I done some research and I'm watching this video called Heal. Don't judge me, but I'm watching it illegally. But I think it's on either Amazon Prime or not Hulu, not Netflix. It's on one of those things. Sorry, you know what I mean? Charge me $15, I guess. But it's a video called Heal, and it's talking about stress and how it's the leading cause of a lot of medical issues in us. And we're gonna talk about more next week about stress. But honestly, understand your boundaries, because your boundaries, or your boundaries are the reason why you're stressed. Because if you understand your boundaries, you could relate your boundaries, so you could ease off the stress from your life, ease off your stress from everything that's going on. Because we tend to project our anger, our frustration. So when we're less stressed, we project less. We exude happiness. We exude love. So yeah. So keep on watching. I'm gonna keep saying keep on watching because I feel like this video might help someone. Okay, the second thing that I recommend is knowing when to say yes and knowing when to say no. Saying yes to help and saying no when you really want to say no. Even if it's a selfish thing, and if you're the type of person that never says no to anything, say no to everything. Completely, it doesn't matter if you want to do it or not. Say no to every single thing. Learn to say no and say yes to everything to yourself. Say no to helping other people out. You gotta learn to be selfish. Like the first month, I believe. Like me, I had to learn to say no a lot. I had to cut off, and I didn't know how to say no, so I legitimately had to cut off people just for a moment, until I build up my self-esteem and build up my confidence. I learned to say I just cut off everybody until I learned to say no. I went through a whole period, probably like a couple of months, 6 months straight, just saying no. No, I don't want to do this. No. When it comes to helping other people, I was like, no. I was just rejuvenating myself and renewing myself. And then after those 6 months, I realized, okay, I missed this, I missed certain things, I missed certain that. So I started saying yes again to certain things, but with limits. Like when it comes to learning your boundaries, you're not gonna get it right at first because you're learning yourself. So learn to give an inch more. If you give an inch more, give an inch more. If you could give an inch less, give an inch less. Boundaries is extremely important. And when you're a boss or a leader or a supervisor, whatever, or a mentor, learn to delegate. That's one thing a lot of people don't understand, delegate, because the more you delegate, the less work you do, in the sense of the less stress you have. I'm not saying okay, do nothing and delegate all your tasks, no, but learn to delegate certain items that you don't need to be there for. Learn to understand what you are and protect your time. I think time is the most valuable thing that we have in this world. Not money, not anything else, just your time. Your time is the most important. That's why I'm making these videos. I'm taking time to make those videos because they're very important. I make time to go to get some sleep because that's very important. I make time for my partner because that makes me happy. I make time for my loved ones and my friends because that makes me happy. Make time for something that's valuable to you. Your time is valuable. So don't stretch yourself too thin. Protect yourself. Honor yourself. If it helps, treat yourself like, if you're one of those people like I used to be, I treat other people better than I treat myself, then see yourself as a second person. Honestly, be your own mentor, be your own judge, be your this. Tell yourself, hey, don't do that. And listen to yourself. You know what I mean? It may take time to actually bring it all together, but at first it's gonna be the most difficult thing because honestly we don't know our boundaries, and when we feel uncomfortable, extremely when we feel uncomfortable, make sure you express that. Make sure you tell that person, hey, I'm uncomfortable with what you said or what you did. Please learn to fix it. And if they don't fix it, that means they don't respect you. Honestly, to tell you the truth, if they don't respect you, they don't respect the issue. Now, honestly, I'm not expecting that everyone to be perfect. So understand, like, if you asking someone to change their whole entire dynamic towards you, give them some time, give them some space to, you know what I mean, to understand who you are and develop who you are. It doesn't mean you have to be nasty. It's just like, okay, you understand that you have to put boundaries in your time with them. Do not answer their messages too often. Do not text them too often. It's good for your mental health. And I believe that's very important. And drop the guilt that you're responsible for others. You are not responsible for anything but yourself. And I understand some of you guys are parents and you're responsible. Yes, we're not talking about that, but I'm talking about responsible like for others' feelings. You're not responsible for what others do. You only responsible for what you can control. If you can't control it, you're not responsible for it. So try to ease up a bit. Ease up a bit. Understand your boundaries and put yourself first. It's just like they say in the plane, put your mask on first before you put it on another topic. Always protect yourself first, because if you don't protect yourself, you can't tell people how to protect you, A, and B, you can't protect other people the way they want to, because you don't even listen to yourself, so how are you going to listen to other people? So at the end of the day, understand your boundaries. Respect yourself. And when I mean respect yourself, I don't mean like, oh, don't respect yourself in your own principles and your own morals. Does that make sense? It's just like whatever, like everybody has their own versions of what respect is. Everybody would have their own version of freedom is. Whatever your own version of freedom, whatever your version of respect, whatever your own version of life is, respect it. Respect your principles. And don't judge anybody by their own principles. And don't judge anybody by your principles. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., I don't judge people based on my principles. That's not the exact quote, but look it up. You guys may know. But yeah, respect yourself. And if needed, ask for some space. Like a lot of people certain people are afraid of asking space, are afraid of asking people, hey, maybe I need some time away from you. It's not personal. It's just for myself. Like right now, I'm off of social media. I'm going to be off of social media for 3 weeks. It's the hardest thing because I don't know what's going on. But I decide to take some space off social media. Not because it's affected me in any way. It's because I'm always on Instagram. Always on the shade room. Always on this. So I was just like, okay, maybe I need to relax on this. Because it's like as soon as I get up, I want to look on my phone. I want to look on this. I want to look on this. So I'm learning to not do too much of social media. So I need to really exclude myself on social media. And I'm going on vacation in a couple of weeks as well. So usually when I'm going on vacation, I don't take pictures. I off the computer, off the phone. Like, you know what I mean? Like if it's an emergency, people could contact me. But I try not to be on social media. I try not to even use my phone. Like if I'm with my loved one, my phone's on do not disturb. It's legitly do not disturb. Now if I'm with like if I have someone back at home, like a partner, and I'm going on vacation for work or business, okay, my phone is on. If I'm going on vacation just for myself, my phone is on, yes, but it's like my backup phone, my second phone, yeah, that's on for people who needs to have emergencies with me. But the phone that I use for almost everybody that everybody has information on, it stays home. I do not bring it with me. Especially on vacations, I do not bring it with me. And it doesn't have no social media on it. No Instagram, no, I'm not on TikTok, but no TikTok, no, YouTube, no Facebook, no any of those social medias, no Pinterest, no nothing. The app, what's on my phone, what apps on my phone? I don't even have games on it. Oh wow, I don't have that many apps on the phone. It's just I mostly text and video and record. I may have Snapchat. You know what I mean? Like I may use it. I don't use it often, but I have Snapchat. I think I downloaded it, but I just never use it on that phone. But needless to say, it's just when creating your own boundaries, understand who you are and be willing to take risks on your boundaries. Like be willing to say, okay, no to something that you always said yes to. Because in the long run, it might affect you in certain ways. And yes, some people may act upset, saying that you acting brand new, but take it. Your happiness is worth everything. I'm not saying to be rude and disrespectful, but your happiness is very important, especially internally. Understand your boundaries. Understand who you are. Take advantage of healthy boundaries. Take advantage, which is good mental health, influence other behavior. You can really, when you understand your boundaries, influence other people. Like Marianne Williams say, when you're yourself, you give, not the exact quote, but when you're yourself, you give other people opportunity to be themselves as well. So when you give boundaries, other people will give you their boundaries, and you learn to work together. And you understand them even more, and they understand even you more. You know what I mean? They understand you even more. Excuse me. But you know what I mean? Boundaries are very good for the soul, for the mind, for the spirit. It's good for a healthy reason. And it also helps you not burn out as much. Because I used to stretch myself thin and I used to burn out. Burn out so much that I was consistently always tired. Even if I had 8 hours of sleep or 9 hours of sleep, I would sleep for the entire day and still tired. Like it was like constant. I'm always exhausted. I'm always drained. Like my energy, my vibration, everything was just drained. And there are people out there who's willing to drain your energy. That's why it's like you gotta learn to say no, because people can take and take and take until they can't take no longer. So you have to allow yourself to say, okay, this is enough. Because once you have boundaries, you'll be able to respect other people's boundaries. And once you respect other people's boundaries, people will respect your boundaries. It's a cycle. It's a cycle of life. Boundaries are very important. I don't like telling people to avoid stress, because stress can elevate you a little bit more. Like there's good stress and there's bad stress. Nevertheless, we're gonna be talking about it next week, because boundaries allow you to avoid stress. Nevertheless, there's some good stress, and next week we'll talk about that. So comment, like, and share. Tell me what you think about this video. I went based on my experiences and lessons and stuff like that. So please be honest with what you think. Like, I want to grow, and I want to help my community grow as well. With that being said, thank you for watching. Until next time, comment, like, and share.